Ma said hip hop is dead, and that's stuck with me ever since. Because now it's 2025, I got back and shoulder pain, and I'm still listening to the music I was listening to when I was legit. Because hip hop is broken. So the question is, how do we fix it? Welcome to Hip Hop 101, where we talk about the classics, the history, and the culture that is hip hop and why it matters. Today's episode, we're going to discuss how hip hop exploded, how it dominated, now it's kind of just broken, and how we're going to fix it. So back in the 90s, we had the West Coast, East Coast hip hop beef. Tupac versus Biggie. Bad Boy versus Death Row Records. This beef, although it ended tragically, it brought a lot of attention to hip hop. In the late 90s, it blew up with artists like Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, and LL Cool J was still doing his thing. Hip hop was everywhere. Then came what I like to call the best era of hip hop, the early 2000 era, which is what I grew up on when I was a kid. Ja Rule, Ludacris, all that stuff that we were listening to at the clubs, the parties, everything. Music that was considered inappropriate, not real music once upon a time, was dominating the charts, was dominating award shows, was dominating everything. Soundtracks, jingles, just because everyone wanted to be cool. Things that were cool were not being called dope, tight, fly. And then came the dance trends. This genre and era of hip hop actually did more harm than good. This era of hip hop was just catchy, bumpy beats with super repetitive lyrics. The root of it, hip hop has always been about the message. Many would like to argue that T.I. and Atlanta put trap music on the map. I'm gonna sit here and tell you, like the old school head that I am, that it was actually 3 6 Mafia when they dropped Stay Fly. That run that 3 6 Mafia had with Stay Fly, Poppin' My Collar, and the soundtrack to Hustle and Flow is what got us hooked on trap. I'm going to sit here and deny that there was something about that triple hat and that 808 combination that hit because it's stuck all the way till 2025. It's 2025 and we're still stuck on trap. It's the most subpopular genre of hip hop, but we forgot the lyrics. The outcome has been short songs to capture even shorter attention spans. That's what we're at now. We're down to like 2-minute songs and catchy trends on TikTok and Instagram that have us repeating the same thing over and over again until we move on. And that's doing more harm than good. It's literally repetitive lyrics and random phrases for the sake of blowing up on social media. The thing is, we got so wrapped up in wanting music that's fun and feels good and sounds good that we forgot why we listened to hip-hop in the first place. We forgot why we listened to music in the first place. Hip-hop has lost its charm and people aren't listening to hip-hop like they used to. In fact, there hasn't been a rap song to reach the top of the charts since Kendrick Lamar and SZA dropped Luther at the beginning of the year. Like, I'm talking like February, March 2025. And I need you to think about the fact that the year is almost over. But what happened? Why aren't people listening to hip-hop like they used to? Why are people bad-mouthing hip-hop so much? I had a conversation with a fellow Colombian-American rapper from New York by the name of NY. Y'all should check him out. It's pretty dope. His argument was, when it comes to hip-hop, there's two types of rappers. The side A rappers make the hits. Their focus is popularity, blowing up, and performing. The music side A rappers make is for the clubs, it's for the bars, it's for the parties. It's what you put on when you have people over after dinner, and it turns from a dinner party into a party party. It's a song with the catchy hooks we can't get out of our heads. Listen to at the gym, car on the way to work, and we sing out loud when it comes on at the restaurant we're having dinner at. I'm talking about Drake, I'm talking about Ja Rule back in the day, Annalie, Choppa, just to name a few, just to give you those type of vibes. We have side A rappers that drop the club bangers, and then we got the lyricists that put us in thought mode. These are the side B rappers. These are the lyrical miracles, the ones you can't. The bar hitters, these are the ciphers, these are the MCs, the wordsmiths, the storytellers like myself. The ones that do it for the love of the game, not just the money, because there is a difference. It leaves you speechless after hearing that last bar. Makes you replay that last song because you were like, did I just hear that? That's what side B hip-hop does. Songs like Brenda's Got a Baby and A Story to Tell stick with you forever. It's not the words that come to mind. It's the emotions and mental picture you drew in your head when you're hearing the lyrics. Your side B rappers are more like Common, Scarface, and Kendrick Lamar. They had hits, and they definitely got bars, but there's always more bars than catchy hooks. So the question is, Drake's been dominating for years, and Kendrick has had a massive run following the success of Not Like Us. Why is hip-hop in trouble? Kendrick Lamar beating Drake meant that the lyricists, the purists, the side B rappers were finally getting their flowers. Fortunately, this meant losing the fun side of hip-hop. Like my fellow rapper NY stated, we were wrong in thinking that Kendrick Lamar was gonna take hip-hop to the next level. Once again, we have the old heads dropping the same old stuff they were dropping back in the 90s. Kids dropping the same stuff they've been dropping since the SoundCloud era. We're not making progress. There was no better era of hip-hop than the early 2000s when Ja Rule was dropping hit after hit an R&B feature. He dropped Dilemma with Kelly Rowland. It was just fun, man. The rappers would hit us with the bars and the singers would hit us with the catchy hooks. This formula worked because it gave rappers a chance to take a different approach, a little lighter, more fun, and more vibrant. Plus, it brings in a bigger audience. Second solution, to bring back the producer-rapper combo. Game has changed because of the internet. And while I'm thankful that because of the internet, the barrier of entry to get into hip-hop and release your music as a rapper dropped drastically to allow opportunities for people like myself to finally release music, which is something that I've dreamt of doing ever since I was a kid. Fortunately, it led to the game changing, where most rappers, they never even meet the producers that make their beats. And while some records do work, they go together, it's not like it used to be. Rappers had hits because they worked with their producers on the sound. They knew when these collabs happened, they were making magic in the studio. Clips and Pharrell working together on Let God Sort 'Em Out. The perfect example of when this happens and it works. Clips album was the first album in years that I listened to no skip and repeat. The last one was Watch the Throne. This worked because they were locked in the studio just bouncing ideas off each other instead of opening Dropbox. Third solution is to bring back the culture. I think what bothers me the most about the state of hip-hop is that the ones that talk the loudest don't have any appreciation for the culture. And it's disrespectful.
Because the thing about hip-hop is that hip-hop isn't just a song you add on your playlist. Hip-hop is the way we live our lives. Hip-hop is our culture. It's the way we carry ourselves. It's the way we express ourselves. It's the way we dress. It's the way we talk. It's the way we literally dance. Everything we do is hip-hop for those of us that live and breathe hip-hop, because hip-hop is life.
So what does that look like? It's understanding that hip-hop is more than just the music. The breakdance battles. It's the ciphers, the freestyle battles, the slam poetry, events, the music videos, the festivals, the stories, drawings, the artwork, behind the cover art. Even listening to music from the 60s and the 70s to understand why samples were used to make the beats is important in order to keep the culture thriving. As a listener, why aren't you going to dance battles to see the dances you like so much to the music that you listen to? As a rapper, why aren't you going to these events so you can meet your listeners, so you can meet the people that are dancing to your music? Hip-hop has been a part of my life since I heard Tupac Changes back when I was 9 years old. Because I am hip-hop. Hip-hop is telling the story that connects with many because we're not alone. It's the pair of kicks you're wearing tonight for your date because you bought your first pair of Air Force Ones when Nelly dropped that track. The song that's always in your workout playing, for me, it's DMX Party Up. We can't have that back until we fix hip-hop. That's gonna take work. So if you're a rapper and you're making B-side tracks, advice to you is work on your ad-libs, work on your melodies, and try making some A-side tracks, some Drake tracks. As far as A-side rappers go, work on your pen game. Tell your story and stop being so generic. What do you think? Do you think hip-hop is broken? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. This has been Hip Hop 101. I'm Real Deal. I'll see you in the next one.